When last we left our heroes, Nate the Human Ranger, Gobx the Dwarven Hexblade, Othokent the Lizard Folk Life Domain Cleric, Talah the Half-Orc Druid, and Abraham Grissom the Human Wizard. After finishing up a conversation with Milla's mom, the group proceeded to hop on a little boat to go on a 3-hour tour. As they continued across the ocean headed towards Berkoln, they were attacked by a ship that happened to have the descendant of somebody who we didn't like from the last campaign on it. As they attempted to overtake the ship, they were soundly defeated thanks to Abraham throwing people through time and space. Whee! And then a demon or devil showed up, took the guy out of the water, kept him from drowning, and we continue to sail our way into the city from here. Now, what I'm going to say, just so we make this easy on me, we are missing a doc today, so we do not have Milla Gobx with us. So Gobx has gotten seasick after the fight and everything. She got a little exhausted, and she's hiding down in the hold sick and feeling terrible. Is there anything anybody wants to do on this last day as you guys are cruising into Berkoln itself?
Do more dolphin shenanigans, basically.
Make better food.
Okay. All right, so I will allow you to successfully make food and do dolphin shenanigans.
Beautiful.
Heal up from great sword wounds and get rest.
Yep, so you guys will get a full rest because you are going to go to sleep that evening and sleep until the morning. The captain doesn't assign you guys any duties because you showed up and kicked the crap out of bad guys, and she's okay with that. Woo! Oh, also, as a side note, I meant to mention this before we went live. I will have a hard break here in a little bit because I have to go pick somebody up, but it'll be a very short trip, so it'll be a short break when that happens.
Fat doodly doo.
All right.
Not allowed.
Anything else you guys want to do while you're on the ship? I don't want to cut off any potential conversations you wanted to have or anything like that.
Have we found any new fauna?
on the ship?
Like this stuff living.
I mean, nothing new. It's the typical stuff that you would see on a ship. Mice, mold.
I'm pretty sure Talah would have checked out the, God, what's it called? What's in the bottom of the ship? Barnacles? Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Yeah, she would have checked those out when she was swimming underneath.
Barnacles.
Yeah, it's actually very clean. There's not hardly any on there, if any. Due to the enchantment nature of the hull, that it wouldn't collect rust or barnacle.
Yay! No barnacles.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, we will continue until that afternoon as you guys start to come into view of the city itself. So as your vessel begins to near the port, you notice this is a site that's unfamiliar to all of you. Abraham spent most of his time in I can't talk today. In the city you guys are from, Neap, and so he spent most of his time in Neap. Again with goodness, I'm doing terrible with names today. My brain is not working, guys. I'm sorry. So with Talah and Nate, you guys, came from a rural township and came through a different town to get to Neap. Well, not Talah. Talah never made it there. But Nate, you went you went through a different city that was basically a bigger version of what you were used to get here.
Yeah.
Othokent, I think you've actually been to Berkoln. Based off of where you would have come from originally.
Mm-hmm.
let's look at that world map for a second, because I'm trying to think.
Like
Did we ever
where?
decide exactly where you're from?
No, we
No,
just agreed
your
that I
people.
traveled.
Yeah, because I would think no. I would say you probably came through Cliffer as well. Now that I think about that, you wouldn't have come through Berkoln. But yeah, so none of you guys have ever seen a city quite like this. You're used to Neap or, more rural woodworking, lumber type areas and that kind of stuff, where Berkoln's definitely different. So as you begin to see the city come into view, just to describe it to you guys, so you guys kind of have an idea of what you're walking into. So it's interesting because it's definitely a city of mesmerizing kind of contrasts. It's a blend of your kind of historical Gothic grandeur, but also has a lot of modern industrial stuff, and with that hint of magic, right? It's what I imagine towns like in Eastern Europe, right, that still have a lot of the old historical style buildings. But also have gone through the Industrial Revolution, so part of the city has been taken over by like warehouses and plants and factories and things like that.
Prague.
Yeah, like
Amsterdam.
Copenhagen.
No, fuck Copenhagen.
But yeah, so that's what you're kind of rolling into. So it's that blend of Gothic, modern, and a little hint of magic spread in there. So you see just the towering different spires of the Gothic cathedrals across the skies. You can see all kinds of intricate stoneworks. You can see as you begin to pull into the docks, you see more of the industrial heart of the town. There on the eastern side of the city. This is where your factories and refineries, the chimneys coming out. You see a whole bunch of columns of steam. There's not a lot of black smoke. There is some from some of the foundries, but for the most part, they use a lot of steam and elementals to help generate energy that they need for different things. As you start to get off the ship and look at everything, you're going to see intricate runes across everything. It's very much an old Prague style city, but there's also magic, right? The stones, the paving stones are clear but colored. It's like colored glass is what it looks like, but they're not. There's just a little essence of magic kind of flowing through everything, and that comes from that old time where this was the main city where residuum was refined. There's a lot of that magic that has leaked into everything. Talah, you begin, even just as soon as you step off, you can already start to see, even in the industrial sections, parts of that enchanted ivy with that shimmering, very lightly glowing luminescence to them all across it. Right, you can already see that growing on stuff. You can see silverleaf trees down the way. As you guys are going to be walking through everything. There's a network of canals that crisscross through the city as they've diverted a small river through the city, as well as diverted some of the ocean tides through a canal as well. That's all for, making it easier to move goods from the dock to the inner part of the city, but also their needs for water and things like that. So there's lots of iron wrought spanning walk bridges and things like that throughout the city. It's not real super districted like Neap and the city of Gilgamesh really were. There's kind of the industrial side near the docks where a lot of the work happens. But then the rest of the city, it's a mix, right? The fact that this is such an industrial kind of blue collar town, it's pretty clean. Everything's really clean. They make good money. They pay good taxes. Everything's upkept well. The poor aren't like it was at Neap, right? Where they shoveled the poor underneath and ignored that they existed. The lows are pretty low or pretty high, right? The lowest of the low in the town are still pretty off. That's what you'd consider kind of middle class in Neap, where the highest of the high aren't like your shipping barons of Neap, right? They don't quite go that high. So it's a very, very melting pot city. It's pretty neat in that regards. So again, Gobs is very, very sick. The captain and the other doctors or the medics gave her something to sleep. They said, hey, we're going to be here in port for 2 days. So we'll just let her rest here before she gets out and gets about. And so she is there. So now you guys are standing upon the docks of Berkoln. And what would you like to do?
Take out my notebook, start sketching, noting down all the visible things, and then as soon as we get off the ship, basically run off to go to the vines.
All right. So you just take off as soon as you can to go look at the vines. Awesome.
Yes.
All right.
Is it like nearby, or is it like?
It's kind of like, in Chicago, there's ivy on everything. It's like that.
So like the nearest building type thing? She's not sprinting off a quarter mile to see greenery?
No, she's not going very far to see the greenery.
Well, this definitely is definitely quick. She immediately ran off in a place we have never visited.
She's very naive about the dangers.
Definitely.
As you are running, Nari, Talah, as you're running, I want you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Dex save. Bloop.
All right, you're able to close your eye in time to not catch a steam hopper in the eye. So now you have a little steam hopper bug crawling around on your face.
Well, hello there. As I pick it off of my face and just hold it in my hand.
Yeah, it's about the size of a ladybug. So, and as you begin walking, a little breeze comes by. When the breeze happens, it unfolds its parachute-like wings and catches that and just floats off and away.
Bye. Continue running.
All right. What's everybody else doing?
Following.
So, Abraham, it would seem that the direction of everything has been forcefully taken.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's chosen for us. Let's just tag along until things settle down.
Indeed. We shall find Dryden afterwards.
Follow after Nate, who's following after Talah, who's following after Chlorophyll.
Yeah, so it's
Basically.
it's not that complicated. You catch up to her. She's sitting, cross-legged on the ground, sketching the ivy, which looks like a normal 3-leafed ivy. It's just the outer edge of it. It glows with a phosphorescent color, as well as the kind of veins that roll through the leaves have that coloration as well.
Do you need a knife?
No.
I mean, if you want some for your scrapbook.
Well, can't just cut off one of the leaves. And at that point, she kind of holds branch, I guess. And then speaks to it. Could I please have one of your leaves for my scrapbook? For that, I'm using speech of beast and leaf.
Oh yes, please rip off my arms.
Yeah, I mean, it's a vine. It doesn't really have a way to respond.
But it's alive.
So, Abraham, I do believe Talah has gone completely insane. She is talking to a shrubbery.
Oh, look at the kid. And gone.
Well,
I have kitten.
Yes.
It was given to me.
It is so cute.
I'm jealous.
Are you talking about the kitten or the Cyntari?
Both.
She can't see the Cyntari.
Oh, we see enough.
That
You
hand.
can see the webbing of my thumb as I'm
Just
managing.
look at that arm.
Only hands.
All I
Look
need
at
him
that
to have.
Narikins.
This is how big he is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what he said.
I just sent my
Looks like the
ferocious
kitten's
babies in
around.
general.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for the kitten to be collected. Yes, and you're
So-
climbing me. Hi.
So in Soundscream's world,
He
plants,
can almost see a sin
have no
face.
sentience.
No.
They're sentient, but what's a plant gonna do? It's not gonna like wave yes. It doesn't have muscles,
Hmm.
right? I mean, it's a plant.
Have you not seen Henry Crabgrass?
I've seen him. I've seen him, but that none of that made any sense to me because I'm like, it's grass.
It's grass.
This is his favorite thing to do.
Aw.
Oh, we can almost see your face.
We've seen it before.
It's time to go.
And gone.
Into the crotch.
Yeah.
So,
So Talah
you're
is gonna
interested in that.
Talah's gonna try and find a leaf that is somewhat loose and then take that.
Okay, you're able to find, one that's there are a couple dead ones on the ground if that's what you want to do. But if you're wanting something
If there's
more
one
fresh,
that seems somewhat fresh still,
they're
even though it's
they're
fallen
they're
off.
really dried. They're really dried once they come off, and those edges that are that are luminescent kind of almost look like they've burned. There's a burn pattern in them. So once they die, they lose all of that tissue.
Okay, yeah, and then I'm gonna get one of the dry ones and, like I said, one of the loose ones.
Okay, all right. You've successfully gained a leaf.
Thank you. Put it in my
So-
notebook.
Talah, we need to coordinate with the others about where to go.
There's so many plants around here.
Yes, and we will get to them all in order. Sure, but please.
Yes, we're here on business. We must
And
move
we
on.
don't even know if we're safe here.
I mean, why were we here again?
We are here to look for a mister by the name of Dryden, who can hopefully help us decipher the object we recovered.
The language
Right.
inside is in code.
Right.
Right?
So do we have any idea where he is?
In Berkoln.
I mean, where in Berkoln?
Yes, we are in Berkoln, so let's go.
Yes. Talah, there's most likely a registry or a phone book or something where you can look by look for people under that name. And considering he is someone who we were, well, what do you say, recommended to, he is most likely someone in the fields of some kind of or a artisan of the sciences. There's a chance of finding him.
All right.
Yeah. People might know his name.
So are we just gonna ask around, or?
You worked for us up in the sales level.
Well, it's at least a place to start, if nothing else. Someone might be able to point us in the direction of a registry.
Would we have any indication where to start Soundscream vis-a-vis a history check?
Sure, you could give that a shot.
Maybe I've heard of him in some place in my scholarly travels.
Sure.
I would have no clue.
Me neither.
The name is moderately familiar to you because over the last 15 or 20 years, he's kind of made a name for himself for making one-off technological gadgets, right? Like, you wouldn't be surprised if some of the stuff was on the ship you just came here on was either inspired or made by him directly. So he is well known as a craftsman, an engineer, and inventor along those lines.
So he's kind of like a not equating him to or making any comparison to, but you're describing kind of a Leonardo da Vinci type, kind of a savant, kind of dabbles his fingers in all sorts of different intellectual pursuits.
Yes, that would not be inaccurate.
Okay.
So, but like, people are like, oh yeah, no, he does good work, but there's something behind that where people are uneasy talking about him, and you don't really know why because you don't really catch cultural type stuff. But you've heard of him, you've heard the name before this of Dryden from Berkoln.
Sure. And intellectual types, I'm going to maybe throw you a curveball. Intellectual types typically go around in like intellectual circles. Are there any intellectual societies that he may be a part of? Like the Society of people who try to, reach out to spirits, reach out to studying other ancient cultures, philosophy societies, art societies?
You haven't heard him associated with really anybody or anything. He's kind of his own thing.
Then he should have a central point of location that he's well known for then. If he's a loner, but slightly well known.
Potentially.
But I don't know it. Just Berkoln.
So we are gonna ask around.
Yes, he's a loner by personality, I would assume. Soundscream would make a good assumption. He's a loner by personality.
You could assume. Again, with that history check you did, that I've given you what I'm giving you.
No, you're fine. I'm just probing and just seeing what else is available on 21.
Yeah, so I mean it's a good roll, but since it's so far from your normal studies, just you even hearing of him is unusual because he's not a magister as far as you know, but just engineering is what he's known for.
Sure.
So what? You think he'd have a house by himself, like off to the side?
Yeah, somewhere where he can tinker with things and work by himself.
So a factory of sorts.
Or maybe somewhere near a factory where they would workshop, yes. Maybe near a foundry or a forge area. Somewhere you can get access to materials and work quietly.
That's not too shabby of a lead. We can do that.
And that's where we're going to begin.
Okay, so where are you going?
To those areas, as we can best determine. It's like, ask around workshops, factories, mechanical workshops, you're trying to guide people to work. Get people to guide me to somebody who works with gear work and things like that to get to an engineering person.
Let's get a group investigation check. As you guys are wandering around, talking to people, trying to figure out where to go.
I am going to guidance myself. Hiya.
Jeez.
You got a 7! Yes!
Yeah, so this wasn't too hard. As you guys start talking, I do want to roleplay out the actual conversation where you get the information, and let's give that conversation to Nate. So Nate, as you guys are starting to wander around, you actually are looking at there's a guy pushing a hot dog vendor on the side of the street, and he's just pushing his thing. And you go, hey,
hot dogs.
So how would you have asked him about this?
First, after
hey, yo, dog, you good?
Hey, let Nexus talk, for crying out loud. He's been talked over 4 times already.
Well,
Nexus, how would you have asked this question?
Hey, sir, can I have 2 hot dogs and perhaps some information?
Well, the hot dogs will cost you $1 each, and the information will be free unless it's about my wife.
What?
He's
No.
laughing. He laughs and he pulls out 2 hot dogs, puts them in the buns. He's got all the toppings on the side, so he's just pointing. There's your sauerkraut, relish,
Yes.
pickles, onions,
The whole shebang, please.
tomatoes. Yeah, he says, all right. Here's your hot dogs. $1 each, please.
Yeah. Here you go.
Thank you. And get the impression you're kind of new to town, boy.
Yes, just came off the ship.
Yeah, it smells like it, but that's all right. What can I do for you? Looking for some place to stay? You trying to figure out what sights to see here in the old city?
Well, for now we're looking. My friends and I are looking to talk to someone.
Well, you found somebody.
Well, yes. It's a specific person, however, and I hope you could perhaps send me in the right direction, or at least to someone who knows the person.
All right, well, who are you looking for?
And the name escapes me again. Jeez.
Dryden.
Dryden. Yes. Sorry. I am looking for a guy called Dryden.
Oh, the Mad Dwarf. You got business with the Mad Dwarf, do you?
Well, I'm not sure yet, but he might have some information that we could use.
Yeah, he's brilliant but crazy. That one, makes some interesting stuff. Asks for some strange ways of payments, but to each their own. Just be careful. He keeps some interesting company.
Oh, like what?
Yeah, they say his assistant's some kind of devil woman. Which, being married, which woman isn't, right? He elbows at you.
Yeah, yes.
But yeah, he's
Instantly think of Milla.
Women, right?
Yeah, he's got a shop up the road here. Go 3 blocks that way to the left. It looks like a hodgepodge. It's got, because he's been building it up over the years. So he's got a workshop, he's got a forge, he's got all kinds of weird stuff on the roof. I don't really understand it all, but he buys some dogs from time to time, so I can't be too upset.
Yeah, okay. Well, that sounds lovely.
Just he's a bit screw loose. You got to keep him on topic, all right? But be wary of that woman. She's something else, all right?
I mean, not aggressive, right?
Look, between me and you, all right, there's been some weird stuff going on in the city, and a lot of people are saying that she might be the source of it. So, just be on your toes, lad, all right?
No way.
I mean, you're my best customer so far today, and I'd hate to lose you.
Oh, jeez. Now you're just sweetening me up.
Like me relish, boy. Like me relish. All right, we'll be...
Yeah.
Hey.
Can I,
What? He's gonna hand you... He's just gonna hand you a couple sodas.
You would?
Oh, that's great. Here's the silver. Can I have 3 more? And if you see anything that would be interesting,
He hands you 4 more hot dogs and 2 more sodas.
Yeah, this arms full and very jolly walks off to his friends.
Oh, you got hot dogs?
Yeah, with everything. Oh, and see these sodas.
Tubed meat, my favorite.
Yes,
I've eaten wolf,
I
but
think
never
it's
a dog
actually
before.
real meat.
It's
That would
not
be a
actually.
novelty.
It's not actually dog, Otho.
Talah, I am joking.
Well, with you, it's hard to tell.
Exactly.
He should play poker more.
I feel like we could win a lot of money if he plays poker.
Okay,
I don't gamble.
So
We're gonna segue all the way to Vegas. It's time to get fucking rich.
So the good man gave me some information, and I bought some hot dogs and sodas. So here you guys are, and apparently it's right up there and down a few blocks. So, one interesting note is that he might be a bit of an odd fellow, so we need to keep him on topic. And apparently he has a wife who's a devil, and people are claiming that the bad
That's not
stuff
very
that's been
nice.
happening lately is related to her.
It's not really nice to call a woman a devil. I mean, if someone's mean,
What if
I mean,
she's
I
not
get
really
it,
a
but-
woman and she's disguised as a woman and she's actually a devil?
Yeah, like
what?
for all we know, she could be a demon or an actual devil.
Yeah, like
I mean,
literally, not like an insult.
But he did laugh when he said it, so I don't know.
Oh, well,
We'll see.
Misogyny runs deep sometimes.
wait, didn't the captain on the phone after that attack go like, "Oh yeah, devils are trying to take over something in the city of Gilgamesh or the city
Well,
itself"?
we literally saw a devil on the deck.
I mean, yeah, but do you think that might be connected if she is an actual devil and there's trouble being caused here?
The rumors are true. Gilgamesh had a problem with devils, and they're all underneath a strict hierarchy. One top guy. And, well, if that's broken apart, who's to say? But devils being lawful, hierarchies being what they are, they're likely to reestablish one. They're probably all together in some fashion, or at least related.
Right. So beware of what may be an actual devil being the wife of this person we want to talk to.
Yeah, either that or she's just a bitch.
Yeah,
Start-
maybe, we don't know yet.
You want to chew and swallow
you
before you
gotta-
start speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Hey,
We
you wanna
don't
drink
know
some of
yet.
this
We'll see.
drink some water. You got don't choke on it.
Yes.
They are good. I don't fault you.
Yeah.
Okay, I assume that you guys are having this conversation and eating your hot dogs while you're walking in the direction that you were pointed.
Sure, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you guys continue walking and enjoying your hot dogs with all the toppings that one could imagine or want. And as you turn a corner, you see what could only be best described as a hodgepodge of a workshop. So it'd be like if Abraham's shop put all of its effort into building a building. That's what this would look like. It's that kind of pieced together. Like there's a smaller front building that looks like it's probably the original building. It's kind of a house. But then there's a large metal building built off the back right-hand side of it. Then there's all kinds of cabling running out of the roof and over to these weird glassy black panels on one side. There's a crane on the outside that looks like it can pick up from in front of the shop and also on top of that roof. It looks cobbled together in the weirdest way possible. No name on the building, nothing like that. So, but yeah, that's what you see.
Hmm.
So you said that the front door has knockers?
No, you guys haven't gotten that far. So the front part looks kind of almost like a house, or like a storefront that would have an apartment above it, is what it looks like. And there's a heavy wooden door there with no windows. And there is a doorbell. Next to the doorbell, it says, no solicitors, trespassers will be disintegrated.
Solicitation would mean that we're trying to sell him something, which we're not. So we're fine.
I mean, it depends on what you call trading information.
Won't we be paying him for that, though? Or not him paying us?
Well, you could claim that solicitation for business. I mean, I don't want to get disintegrated on semantics.
How about we just ask him what that entails?
Well, then we'd be soliciting him for information and then disintegration.
You think about this too much.
That's my job.
Ding dong.
So you hit the button. All right. So you hear the speaker. There's a little intercom speaker right there next to it. Just click on and go, "Can I help you?" And it's a feminine voice that comes through.
Yeah, hello, we've come to speak with Mr. Dryden if it is a possibility.
Do you have an appointment?
Do we need one?
In general, if he's not expecting you, he gets grumpy.
Oh, well, can we make an appointment?
What's this visit about?
Looking at Abe.
Were you referred to him by one of his other clientele?
Yes, we were. We were recommended to him by the archaeological expert over in Neap.
One moment. And you hear it click off for a moment. Clicks back in. He's in the middle of an experiment. Come around to the side. There's a door there that I will open for you, and we'll see if we can have time to speak with you.
Thank you very much. We'll do that.
So on the right-hand side, as you come through the kind of where the apartment-ish building meets the workshop, there's a garage door that is slowly starting to open. You can hear it opening.
Well, this isn't sketchy at all.
It's something, all right.
Oh well.
I do not
stay
judge
vigilant.
based on the door.
Gonna go inside.
Yes.
So as you guys walk over, as the door begins to open, the first thing you will notice is shoes. You see somebody standing in very tall high heel shoes. Nylons are next. Then you see a very tight pinstripe skirt. As the door finishes opening, you see a woman in probably what appears to be her early 30s, wearing a skirt with a suit jacket buttoned up, holding a clipboard. She's got the typical, like what you'd expect, like lawyer assistant glasses on. Her hair's pulled up real tight in a bun. The thing that is distracting about her, other than the fact that she's gorgeous, is the horns that come out of her head and the large feathery wings out of her back.
So she is a succubus. Okay.
Not a succubus.
Mm-hmm.
She's not.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's a large group of you. Interesting. Well, come this way. Keep your hands to yourself. Please don't touch anything. And she turns and begins to walk deeper into the garage and through a set of double doors.
Mm-hmm.
Unless somebody says something to stop her.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. So she walks you through an area. You just see when you get into this next area, this is the workshop itself. There's a number of half-finished projects all across the room. But the thing that immediately catches your eye is there's this 3 foot by 3 foot by 3 foot, what looks like almost like a safe with a big, heavy circular door handle lock that also has a row of what we would know are capacitors, but your characters may or may not know that there's all these capacitors that have cabling like crazy running out of them and into these boxes, these square things that are attached to the sides in all different directions of the box. In front of the box, you see this gentleman. Should have popped up for you.
Dr.
Mm-hmm.
Light.
Yes, he does kind of look like Dr. Light, which was not it. And she goes, and the lady who's been walking, she goes, "Oh, you'll want to stand back." He is wearing goggles and thick rubber gloves. And you can see, and Abraham, you can do a check if you want to check what this is. But you see him beginning to use material components, and he is casting a spell. He's casting chain lightning. And it's a high level, like probably 8th level version of it. As you can tell by the way it's leaping from his body, his hands, and between the materials. And he throws this chain lightning into all of the different capacitors that are across the top of this box, and you just see him feeding all this arcane electricity into it. And you can start to, you feel that ozone smell, that feeling of the hair on your arms kind of standing up as the capacitors are fully charged. And he walks over and he flips a switch. And you hear that discharge, and everything starts to push into all those cables and everything. And you just hear him going, yes, yes. He's just kind of giggling to himself as all this hum and power. And this goes on for a good minute and a half before it stops. And everything kind of fades a little bit as all the lights were getting brighter and everything because of all the electricity being thrown around. And he puts back on his thick gloves again, and he hobbles over to the square box, right? And he takes that wheel and cranks it to unlock the door. He pulls it out, and then he pulls out a rectangular pastry. And he looks at it, and he bites it. And he sets it down, and a tear rolls down his cheek. And the lady goes, Dryden, he goes, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. But what don't you understand? It's hot on the outside, but cold in the middle. We did the math. Marinara sauce has a thermal conductivity of 55 Kelvin per meter cubed, and it should have worked. Why is it cold in the middle and hot on the outside? The pepperoni's burnt. Do you see this? What am I supposed to do with this pepperoni? Huh? It's burnt. It's burnt, but in the middle, it's cold. It's frozen. How's this? I don't understand it. It was you, devil woman. It was you. You've cursed me with this knowledge. You've cursed me. And he pulls out this piece of paper that looks incredibly old, and I'll let anybody who wants to try to peek over his shoulder and see what it is do so. So if anybody wants to do a perception check to see what's written on this piece of paper, you can.
You
No, I can't. Neither can Pip.
That's
6,
I have no
7,
idea.
right?
8.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, none of you guys can see what's on the paper. And he sets it to the side and he goes, "Look at this, Lyra. Look at it. Look at the pastry. Look, it's scrumptious. It's well done. It's tasty. It's a whore. A lying whore. There's no love here. Curse it." And he slams it against the ground and it scatters and goes all gooey. And he's, can't believe. All I wanted was a good snack. Do you understand? Do any of you understand?
We still have a hot dog left.
Did you say a hot dog?
Um,
With relish?
With
And
basically
mustard?
everything. I think we have some left over, don't we?
Oh, that's a good last week. Can I have one?
Pep?
I'm so hungry.
We do have an extra one.
Well, give it to the man. He's hungry.
Sure. Here.
And you can see as you hand over the hot dog, Lyra walks over to a chalkboard, and you can see this is the 35th attempt because you can see notes and check mark, and she just X's off and starts writing notes like intermittent power, not the cause of frozen middle of pastry. So yeah. And she's just making some notes. And goes, "Do you have any other theories?" "I think it's a whore. That's what I think." "That's not scientific, Dryden, and you know that. I don't care if it's scientific. That's how I feel right now. This hot dog is delicious." And he sits down, because there's kind of a ledge there. So he sits down, and he's eating the hot dog.
Have you considered traditional cooking techniques?
"Lyra, have we tried traditional cooking techniques?" "No, sir. You wanted to use the elementally powered radioisotope device." "Why would I do that?" "Because it's faster." "Oh, that's right." "No, young man, I haven't."
Well, if it's faster to do it your way, then why are you hungry and I'm full? Because I've had a hot dog cooked over a flame.
"Aye, but you didn't cook the hot dog."
Yes, I saved time by offloading that expense onto somebody else and exchange coin for goods and services.
"Aye, but what if you could do both?"
What, I give somebody else money and have
No,
my hot dog?
Save the money and save the time. That's the whole point.
Or do you have any control over the temporal fields involved?
Well, of course I have control over it.
Have you tried a pizza stone?
No, you can't put the stone in there. It goes poorly.
Oh, so you have tried.
I never thought to do it, lass. It would absorb more of the heat than it would give. Pizza stones only really work because once they get hot, they stay hot.
For a short cooking time, a pizza stone is not desirable because you want a longer cooking time for a pizza stone. You want to heat up the
See?
pizza stone and then you apply the pizza to the cooking, whatever, bread, pastry.
Yeah, see, he knows. Listen to him. Oh, you weren't here when I put it in. Who are you?
Oh, travelers from Neap came on recommendation to find you to help with this, and I produced the cube.
He immediately grabs it. Now, where did you find that?
That is a
I
story.
think they found it somewhere at the bottom of the ocean.
That was going to say that was a story for another time, but thank you, Talah. Thank you.
Bottom of the ocean's about the only place you could find a reference cube these days. I hadn't seen one of these since I was a wee lad.
Reference cube?
A reference cube. They used to encode important things in these things. That they needed to last for a long time. Well, what do you want to do with it?
Figure out what it is and what it does?
Oh, I just told you both of those things, so congratulations.
Thank you.
There you go. And he hands the cube back.
Well, we're also kind of curious in what it says.
Oh,
Fair enough. Yeah.
Lyra! I'm right here. You don't need. I'm literally right behind you. Oh, sorry then. Will you let Harold out of the capacitors and get Project 412B out? Are you sure you want B, not A? Yeah, I want B. All right. And she walks over and she taps with her knuckles. She just knocks on one of the capacitors. Harold, you can come out of there now. And electricity just starts pouring out of the capacitors into a humanoid shape, like a large, monstrous humanoid shape. And he goes, I think he's going to need you in the form of light, Harold. And he shifts, and now there's basically a being made out of pure light in front of you guys. And he starts walking over and starts to squeeze. There's this weird kind of table with a strange brace on it, and he is crawling underneath it. Like there's a clear cube that he's climbing into, that he's just a pure light. Basically, he's a light elemental at this point.
So we've all been flashbanged at a continual level.
Yeah, well, he can control all of that, so it's not like... It's like looking at a really bright LED screen, not like actually hurting you. And she walks over and spreads her wings and starts to fly up to a shelf, a much higher shelf, and she brings down, it kind of looks like my brain's not working. A microscope, but it's shaped a little bit differently, and it's completely enclosed. So he goes, may I see the cube?
Sure! Guys, hand him the cube.
Yeah, sorry, cat. I hand him the cube.
All right. And he walks over and he goes, all right, Harold, once I tell you to, go full brightness, sir. And he sits down at the table and he sets the cube down. And then he sets this scope on top of it. And everything's kind of sealed off where Harold, the elemental, is at. He goes, all right. He kicks the side of it. All right, Harold, go. And he kicks on and he's basically looking at it through a super bright microscope-esque device. He goes, all right. Oh, this is a fancy one. So there's good news and there's bad news. Which do you want first?
Let's start with bad news so you can make it a happy thing again with the good news.
All right. There's multiple tiers of information saved here. I can only read parts of it because they're hidden behind both physical, digital, and arcane encryption. To get past the arcane encryption, I'm going to need basically a lens of true seeing, which I don't have. Somebody broke the last one. It was you. It wasn't me. Whatever. We don't play the blame game here. Somebody broke the last one we had. So I can only see the upper level, which is the physical outside layer, none of the arcane layers. The second problem is I can tell, from what I can see, that at least part of this is written in a programming language that I don't know. So you will have to figure out, you'll have to find someone who knows that language. And it's an old one. It's a real old one.
Can Abraham have a look?
I've had a look. Is what he's doing providing me anything new?
Not really. It's still one of those you could probably transcribe the code, but what that code does, you wouldn't know. Now, here's the good news. The top level is what appears to be a blueprint.
Can we transcribe that?
Well, I can. It looks like it's a blueprint for an artificial body. A big one, too. About 10 feet tall or so.
Oh, jeez.
Here.
I see a construct of some kind.
Aye, but it's a different one than I've ever built.
Like mechanical, bio? What is it?
Well, it looks like it's a conglomeration of non-living materials with some rare materials to construct literally an artificial body. Not a construct, an artificial body. Here, give me a minute. And he plugs in a device to the side of his microscope. And you start to see information being fed to a laptop that's over on the side. And he starts it takes it maybe, and again, I'm going to say how long this is going to take, and you can tell me if you want to have more conversations while this is doing it. You can see the progress starting to tick up. It's probably going to take it about 15 to 20 minutes for it to compile all the information that it can read off the physical cube itself.
Well, it does seem like it wasn't a complete lie what Carrie told us.
No, but I don't trust him any farther than I could throw him. I can
Just
throw him pretty
just
far.
to be clear, are you saying this where he can hear or where he cannot hear?
Oh,
I am
depends on how
speaking in
he's-
kind of hushed tones, but I'm not trying to hide it.
Gotcha. He wouldn't be paying attention to hushed tones at all.
You said you, speaking to the dwarf,
Mm-hmm.
you said you had seen other reference cubes before? What exactly are these things besides retention devices?
Oh, that's pretty much all they are. You use them to store information that you want to be permanently retrievable.
Permanently? So this is indestructible?
Aye, outside of something incredibly powerful. I've never tried to break one. And then again, this is the first one I've seen. I've known about them though. I've heard of them.
Let me see.
But it's solid sapphire, which is about as hard of a natural material as you can get. And it's been reinforced with arcane and divine magics. So it's about as indestructible as something can get.
Is there a device that could, I don't know, read this thing?
What do you think I got it plugged into?
Well, I mean, we're having to decipher it as well. I mean, at the end of it, is there like a device that does all of it at once? I mean, it had to, I mean, he turns to speculate about the device. There had to be something that they built to do the whole thing for them.
Well, aye, but you would need to know the underlying programming language.
Yes, but
And have the proper lenses to look past the arcane and the lens to get past the divine encryption, which is what the lens of truth would be. So a device like mine with that proper lens and a computer or something like that knows the language that can compile it into whatever program it is or whatever it is. That's what it looks like to me in some type of program. I mean, I'm close to there. I'm just missing a few of the pieces.
well, where can we find these pieces? A lens of true seeing is going to be difficult as hell to find.
Aye. Lyra! I'm right behind you still. I haven't... What? What do you want? Lyra, do you think Miss Sister would have the language in her library? Well, knowing I'm going to say this name wrong. Knowing Zenai, and her nature of gathering information, if that knowledge exists, she probably has it. Well, there you have it. You can get the language from Zenai. You just have to make a trip to see her. You're welcome.
Thank you.
So it's finished compiling and it is beginning to print off. He actually has a large blueprint printer. So that's blue paper starts to feed in and starts to. Oh, here. I'll also, just to give you that name, Dryden's sister is that. But yeah, it starts to print off this large blueprint. You can see intricate circuitry running through all parts of it. There's small tubular piping running through all of it, a skeletal structure. And he says, all right, well, let's talk about what all it will take to build this thing. First, you guys will want to write this down, and I'll put the names of the weird spelled ones. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You ready? Everybody ready? First, to construct the brain, I would need 15 pounds of Hizakar. Looks like I need about 150 pounds of adamantite for the skeleton, 55 pounds of true gold for the nervous system, all that wiring, that's intricate stuff. Vascular system is made from Beatorian green steel. We'll need about 90 pounds of that. Muscular system. Ooh, this one's tough. We need living steel for that one. Let's see. The skin, we need something reflective of light. Looks like it calls for aurorum. Here, just to throw, let me throw a couple of these in. I'll do it when I'm done. For the hearts, we need heartstones. Probably 4 of them. Eyes, we need some sapphires, clear or blue, will fine. So 4 or 5 of those. And about 45 pounds of soul steel to be blended into everything to give it something to attach the programming soul, the digital soul to. That'll do it.
You didn't give me a number, or at least I didn't hear, for the living steel.
150 pounds.
And Aurora.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest and say that the pounds and all that
Aurorum.
Hold on.
went a bit too fast.
Aurorum, 25 pounds.
Okay, so I have 15 pounds of Azakar, 150 pounds of adamantite, 55 pound true gold, 90 pound of Beatorian green steel, 150 pound of living steel, 25 pound of aurorum, 4 heartstones, 2 sapphires, 45 soul steel, and a partridge in a pear tree.
4 or 5 sapphires.
He has 4 or 5 eyes.
Different focal lengths.
So if we want him to have even more focal lengths, we just bring him more sapphires and he just works them in there. If we bring him
Yeah, he'd make lenses out of them.
10 of them, will he be able to see into other dimensions? 20 of them into the
Yes.
soul itself?
With enough, yeah.
Well,
Sure.
nice.
Aye, but looking at these plans, I can make that.
Oh yes, let's just get the several hundred thousand coin worth of material. Just call that up. The boondoggle.
All right, well, you asked for the information, and I've given it to you. I don't understand why you're upset with me.
I'm not upset with you, but I can't be upset with the situation, can't I? Express myself.
Aye, but don't get hasty with me.
Who says I was? I wasn't even looking at you.
I says you was.
Ah, you're the one being
Come-
contentious, you Scottish
Abe.
bastard.
Lyra, he's starting to look like a solicitor to me.
You Scots sure are contentious people. Ah, you just earned an enemy for life.
Please, my good sir, do not solicitize my old friend here. He's just grumpy sometimes.
Well, you did bring me some food, so I'll let it be for now. But is this a project? Is this what, do we want to make this thing?
I'm honestly not sure.
Nari, are you trying to speak? Nari,
Hmm.
were you trying to speak just a moment ago?
No, my headset was making noises.
That's what I heard.
It's been having issues, and well, yeah.
I'm sorry.
But this is it. If I had to put some conjecture on some things, I would guess that the secure layers in here are for the programming. You can make a digital soul. That's famously that's what Gilgamesh was, right? He was a combination of arcane and divine and technology. That's where our soul came from. So I'm guessing these other layers are probably similar to something like that.
It all makes sense now. I carry one of this damn thing.
Carry?
Yes, this disturbing looking, all too symmetrical faced man. Come around asking for it, so he wants to rebuild Gilgamesh. Take this damn thing.
Huh. His name was Carry, not Neferkarion?
I don't know the other name. He only offered the one.
It looked like somebody had given him something sour to eat.
Yes, and his face looked like it was made with too many angles in it.
Yeah, very bossy.
He looked like an asshole.
Aye, yeah. Yeah, I know him. He's looking for this, huh?
Yes, he wants it. Says he's going to save the world with it. I called him crazy. Well, not to his face. I was in the other room.
Interesting. Did he say how he was going to use it to save the world?
Rebuild Gilgamesh?
Huh. Well, this would reconstitute his physical form, at least. But Carrie should know better. He's not going to get Gilgamesh's soul back together.
Depends on what's in there. Didn't you say?
I mean, it may be that, but it wouldn't be Gilgamesh in there, I don't think.
Copy's a copy is a copy.
Well, if I were to clone you, would it still be you?
Depends on which one you're looking at.
I highly doubt it, because it would be a new you with new experiences.
But the base template would still be there.
Yeah, but your experiences and memories and such make you who you are now, so
Well,
it would be a different person.
Well, I'm not laying any claim to any specialness in this analogy, but there's the option of no me or a version of me. In this case, there's an option of no Gilgamesh or a version of Gilgamesh.
Lyra!
She's still there.
Thank you. Oh, sorry. I keep forgetting. What's our material inventory looking like? Well, I assume you're referring to the things that you just mentioned. Aye. Well, we've got the sapphires. You've got roughly 100 pounds of adamantite in raw bar form. True gold's been hard to come by since we've been cut off from Celestia. And yeah, we've got some of the adamantite, but that's really it. None of the rest of the stuff we have handy. So we're still short 50 pounds of adamantite. We have the sapphires, but everything else is a need. All right. Well, his achor is made by those Underdark bastards. Dwarfs in the Underdark. You could get that there.
Draugr?
The Durgar do it, but it's not so much them. There's some true dwarves under there that kind of specialize in it. It's a weird material. It's very clay-like, but it's an excellent conductor of electricity. But when you segment it, it won't cross-connect it. So a lot of the processing section of the body will be made out of that. I have no idea where you're going to get the the true gold from. Living steel.
True gold is different than normal gold.
Yeah, true gold is celestial gold.
Oh,
Living steel won't be too hard. You just have to find one. It's a creature that lives near iron deposits and mines, things like that. So you just have to find where one is, or a couple of them, because they're not that big. So 150 pounds is an awful lot. Aurum, that's from the luminal plane. Good luck on that one. Heartstones, just have to kill a couple night hags for that. And if you know any necromancers, they could probably hook you up with some of the soul steel.
I have a question.
Aye?
What if we started with a body?
In what sense?
What if we brought you an advanced construct who was made very similarly?
I mean,
Could you repurpose the structure of it, the template, in order to make Gilgamesh?
Well, you couldn't really repurpose something like that, but I could possibly scrap some of the materials from it.
I know of the existence of such a being.
Really?
Yes.
Where about?
Neap. Last I knew.
There's a construct like Gilgamesh and Neap?
Yes. Well, similarly, somehow powered by residuum. Very fancy. Filigree, all sorts of gold and silver. Made of ivory, I think. Something looks like ivory on it.
I mean, it may have some of the components we're looking for.
It's just a thought. If you're saying this stuff is on the different planes of existence, it seems so far out of our reach that it might as well be, I don't know, on a
Different plane of existence. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, the arcane dome prevents going directly to those planes, but you can still go through some of the adjoining planes to get there. It's just a bit of a, because you can't ever really be separated from the Feywild or the Shadowlands, and you can go to them and then use them to get to the secondary planes.
Well, then we just need somebody to nose their way around the planes. Head pan tilt towards Nate.
Well, I can just sense them. It's not like I have much knowledge.
Yes, you can sense what exactly, Nate? Abraham's starting to smile.
Like when stuff is not from here, and like when I felt Fey.
Could you feel portals to these other areas of existence?
Yes.
There we go.
I mean, as long as I'm close enough.
Could we attenuate using your? He's starting to get excited, and I'm not intending to cut you off. Nexus, it's just in character. He's doing this.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to for you, Nexus. I'm not trying to cut
fine.
you off. It's like maybe we could use some of your equipment and redo it all, and attenuate it to make it where he could expand his search for different portals. Trying to make Cerebro, but for portals.
I mean, I don't know if I've got anything that'll work quite like that. I'm not an inventor per se, but we could try, I suppose.
I mean, if we have to go to other planes of existence to build this construct.
Well, if he can sense portals, I can't talk. Portals, maybe he could go to a known portal to either the Shadow Realm or the Feywild, and then find. Oh yes, I'm sorry. So let's back up. I apologize. I missed that question. So yeah, whenever you would have seen her, the best way I can explain this is: have you ever had like sweet jalapenos, like where they sweeten them like they would like sweet relish, like a sweet pepper?
Yep.
So it's kind of like that, right? It's you pick up the infernal undertones, but there's a sweetness on top of it, a sweet layer on top of it.
Spicy but sweet.
Yeah. But sorry about that. But
Sure
yeah,
thing.
he's like, well,
It's fine.
you could get to the Shadow Realm or the Feywild, and then if he can sense portals, maybe you could find your portal to where you need to go from there. And then once you get there, it's just a matter of finding a way to get a hold of the material.
True. I have a lot of samples from the different realms. Would that be any use?
Aye, for you.
Okay, cool. Good.
It'll help you attune to understand what you're looking for, right? So, like, do you have a sample of celestial gold in there?
I believe so. And Nate's gonna pull out the box with all the samples.
Yep, and you do. He goes, all right. So what you would do is you feel what it feels like, aye, lad? You
Yeah.
smell it, you sense it, right? So you just find a portal that matches what that feels like, and that'll take you to where you're going. I don't know where you got all those samples, but that's awful helpful.
I mean, we found in the same place as the reference cube.
Aye. Sounds like a laboratory of some sort.
Yeah, it was great. You should have been there.
Aye, seems like it would have been fun. But, so if you don't want this, you could also talk to my sister, to Zenai. She's got records on everything. She runs a great big old library. And she could probably get you information on where to find all this different stuff.
Oh, there we go. Ah, yes, there she is, right behind you. I don't have to yell at all. You take us to that library like you're speaking of?
You're asking me to take you to? No, I cannot take you to Zenai's library. That's all the way in Ikavorzana.
Where's that?
Oh, it's out in the desert of Kathtul.
Oh.
It's roughly about 300 miles that way, and she points in a direction through the walls and everything. Can't miss it. Giant plateau. Stands about 600, 700 feet tall. Only thing you can see for miles.
And how would you suppose we ever get there?
Walk? I don't know. There's
Same question to the other guy. How would you suppose we ever get there? Much help for us to be able to go through a library we can't reach?
I mean, I never go visit, so nobody goes there. It's not a city per se. It's just a place of sanctuary for knowledge.
Ah, yes. There's a library in the middle of the desert we can't go to. Hey, by the way, if you want the biggest fish, it's in the middle of the ocean. Good luck.
Aye, so if I needed the biggest fish in the middle of the ocean, you know what I'd do? I'd get on a boat. So if you've got to go to a library in the middle of the desert,
I get on a boat. Thank you.
I both like and hate you at the same time. If you don't mind, Dryden, I think I can actually assist with part of this. My cousin is part of the group that's dealing with the contract dispute in the city of Gilgamesh, and he owes me a favor contractually, and I believe I could get the entirety of the green steel that you need from him. Aye, but what would you want in return? Well, it's something I'd like to speak to these interesting friends of ours about. All right, I hear you, woman. Maybe if we heat it on low, it'll work out better. Yes, good. But why don't you make another sample and put it in the freezer until it's ready, and while you're doing that, I'll talk to them. All right. I've heard enough. I know when I'm being shooed away like a little vagrant.
Mr. Dryden?
Aye?
Next time we come in again, would you like us to bring you another hot dog or a snack or something?
Look, I'm a simple man. Food always makes me happy.
So, yes.
Aye. That's a good
All right.
laugh.
Still have extra
You see
soda.
that, Lyra? That's what a good woman is like. Yes, I understand. And he kind of starts, unless somebody stops him, he's going to start walking back to the area to start mixing everything together to start making another Hot Pocket.
Well, not gonna stop him. I asked my question.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get in between a man and his hot pocket.
Nobody can
Next.
get between a man and his hot dog.
Nexus, you were trying to say something?
No.
Every sound Nexus makes. Oh, Nexus, were you trying to say something? No, I wasn't.
What?
Jesus.
Hey,
It's just because we cut him out so many times.
Yes, constantly.
Yeah.
No image for the hot dummy mommy.
Doggy mommy. I mean, I have to say, once Soundscreen started to explain the library in the desert, it is a safe haven for knowledge and all that, I immediately went to the library from Avatar The Last Airbender.
Yeah, no, just look up Rhea Ripley. Imagine that in a suit, and you've got what she looks like, all right? How's that?
Oh, geez. Okay.
Yeah. But with horns and giant feather wings.
Neat.
And she's not a succubus.
Is she a fallen ASMR?
No, she's an Aranese.
That
Anyways,
works.
she goes, all right. I'm hoping, I get the impression by the fact that you guys have traveled so far and are doing what you do, that you guys are a capable group of friends. Is that correct in my assumption?
Yes.
I would like to hire you to assist me with something.
Depending on what it is, we might take the job offer.
Of course. So let's be clear on our terms. I am offering to procure every bit, or all 90 pounds of the Beatorian green steel that you need to pursue this project with Dryden. In exchange, what I would like is, there is someone in the city who has been attacking and killing people. And because of the nature of the gruesomeness of said murders, along with certain types of writing that are being left behind, suspicion has been cast on me because of my heritage. I would like you to find this person and stop them in an attempt to basically get people to leave me alone.
Sounds fair enough. I think.
Yes, but no offense. How do we know that you are on the side of truth here?
I mean, truth is relative, but I will give you a full-fledged and binding contract that you do this deed and I provide what I'm providing.
Yeah, isn't that what like devils do? Like these.
So you want us to make a deal with the devil?
We already
Yes.
have, technically. Split hairs.
Well, yes. I mean, look, I understand the hesitance due to my heritage, especially with me being a Duchess of Beator. I was in charge of one of the administrative branches of filing and keeping track of things, and I was here on business whenever the dome changed its colors, and I was no longer able to return home. I'm pretty okay with that, though. You know, that's something that sometimes is overlooked, is while there are many of my kin who revel in what we do, that's not me. Hold on just a moment, guys.
I think we're about to have that break.
You're correct. I'll finish the statement and then we'll go. She goes, I never took joy in what we did, and since I can't go back home, that also means I don't have to go back home. I met Dryden, and I've been quite happy working here with him for the last 35 or 40 years, and I don't intend on leaving anytime soon. But there's somebody who's going around committing pretty gruesome murders and leaving messages in Infernal. I have no idea who they are or what they're doing, and I just want it stopped because while I may be forced to leave, and that wouldn't be a big deal to me, Dryden will not stay here without me. As much as we argue, me and him we enjoy each other's company, and I don't want him to have to leave.
Right.
That is
Well,
nice.
to me, at least, it is not your heritage that makes me a little hesitant. It's more that I don't know you that well, so I don't know whether you are trustworthy or not. I would have that with any other person here asking me to do a job like that.
Well, it's up to you. I just offer a solution to part of your problem.
I mean,
we're not racist, but
I mean, in the worst case scenario, and please do not take offense to this, if she is indeed the one who does all this, and our investigation turns up null or turns up worst case, then we'll just come back here and kick her hiney.
Fair.
And to be clear, the contract states that you will find and assist in the arrest of whoever it is that is committing these murders. And all
Even if it's you.
Even if it's me. So I will change the language to make it clear that it is binding even upon that. And understand, the downside of a deal with the devil is that it's bound by the Pact Primeval, which means it's bound by universal planar law.
So if we don't actually catch the culprit,
then you don't get the payment. That's all I'm going to require is the payment. Is
okay.
You catch him, you get the steal. But it also means if I don't fulfill my end of it, then the weight of the planers comes down upon me. And I don't know if you've ever heard of a gentleman by the name of Primus. He is not one whose wrath you wish upon you. He's very exacting in everything he does. And I haven't made him mad at me in quite some time, and I'd prefer to continue that.
Of course.
So in short, the contract is just as binding on me as it is you.
well, all right. I'm up for it.
And this is where we're going to take our break, so I can go get my wife and daughter.
Gotta pee.
You go do that.
I'll be back very shortly.
Yeah. Guys, remember I just now mentioned the issues with my headset? I have found the dumbest solution ever.
Yes.
Because I looked it up, and then on Reddit it said that a lot more people had the same issue where this headset keeps cutting out from time to time. And then it was like, just make sure the wire gets stuck a certain way, and then it's gone. Then the issue is resolved. And I was like, yeah, no way that works. So I started holding the wire like that. It works. So now I need to find a way to stick my wire like this.
I
Put a
mean,
pin through it.
I once had a connector for our Sega Genesis. The power cable was kind of wonky. So the way to fix that was that I had to wrap the cable around the Genesis like once, and then it worked perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, it's dumb, but it works. So I just gotta find a way to stick it like that. I was thinking hot glue, but then again, maybe not.
I wouldn't do hot glue on a plastic
Yeah.
headset.
No, that's where my mind went right after I thought of it. Any ideas?
String.
What?
String.
My brain is not comprehending. I don't know why.
You put a string around it.
Oh, a string. Oh, that's what you said. My brain was like, a brim. What? No. What? That's not what he said. Was it? No. Brain.
No.
Fucking hell. Maybe like a double-sided tape-ish kind of a deal.
That could work.
So I'm gonna just send you the image as well, girly, with how apparently I need to stick my wire. Like that. It's so dumb. Why does this even work?
Well, you know what they say, if it's dumb and it works, it's still fucking dumb.
Yeah.
I ain't taking the other one. People who say that are dumb. If it's dumb and it works, it's not dumb. Yes, it is.
It's still dumb, but it just works.
I can accept that.
It just works.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go grab a drink, grab a snack, and then maybe see if I have something to stick this in place. See you in a bit.
See you in a bit.
I am tired.
Why are you tired, Mr. Nexus man?
Hello, tired. I am. What?
I just said, why are you tired, Mr. Nexus man?
Because I have not slept well.
Well, that's not good.
Yeah.
Whose ass do I need to kick?
Mine.
Nah. Oh yeah, so far I've eaten the cucumber in pasta salad and in a hot dog. Shit was good.
Ooh, sounds good.
Yeah.
It also makes for a pretty scrumptious agurk salad.
I wouldn't test that because I don't like a guac salad.
Ah, that sucks.
Yeah. I make a
But
good
yeah,
one, but I don't like it.
it's really good in salad as well.
Yeah, it was a nice pasta salad. It's nice having an actual cucumber that tastes of something.
Yes. Did Luca get hers?
I have not gotten it to Lurker yet because I was kind of home late yesterday, and I'll bring it. I'll make sure it's brought to her.
It's fine. Like half of it is on her.
Yeah. I mean, I've said she can just come get it. I only live like 2 kilometers away.
Yeah. And like it still took you 2 days to get it. So they were already getting kind of soft.
True. But a soft cucumber can still be a good cucumber.
Depends on who you ask and for what purpose.
True. But I care more for the taste of the cucumber rather than the texture.
Yes. And then you see someone hollowing out a cucumber.
Because they're making tzatziki, right?
Nah, you know what they're doing. There's this lovely thing called makrelkov.
Oh? I don't want to know what that is. That sounds disgusting.
Well, smoked mackerel in tomato sauce. You hollow out a cucumber and then fill it with that.
Yeah, no.
It was a pretty common treat for kids when I was little.
I'd rather just have the cucumber. But no fillings.
I do love mackerel, but it becomes very weird in that mix. Neither side benefits.
Yeah, I've just got to be honest and say I don't really like mackerel either. I'm kind of picky sometimes.
Well, you don't like fish.
To a large extent. I can eat cod. I can eat a good fish fillet.
It's still so strange to me that you can eat cod, because that's usually the one fish people don't like.
I don't think it tastes like, fish.
Yeah, it just tastes of disappointment.
See, cod can be good depending on what you do to it. I mean, a nice piece of pan-seared cod, that's good.
Yeah, but 9 out of 10 times people don't know how to handle cod. So you just end up with a bland piece of meat.
Yeah, honestly, I have no idea how people don't know how to handle cod. It's literally so fucking simple.
Because, hey, we don't want raw fish. So we go to the extreme and completely overcook the cod. And
Not because I want to assume stupidity or anything, but do you know how you know a piece of cod is done when you're pan-searing it?
No.
It's very simple. Of course, you put it skin side down. Usually, searing it in flour is a good idea because it helps the skin stay crispy. You know it's done when you touch the top of the fish and it's the same temperature as your hand. Then it's done.
Sounds good.
It is so simple.
What if I'm a hot boy?
Still works. Because I don't assume you're 50 degrees hot.
Sure I am.
But yeah, don't worry, I've had the same problem. Where people overcook fish into the extreme, so it's disgusting. I will say there is one fish I hate more than the rest. And that is also a surprising one. Salmon.
Yeah.
I despise it.
Salmon is great. But salmon is also easy to make bland.
See, that's not the problem. So you know how... Have you ever gone into like a fish shop?
Yeah.
You know how they smell?
Yes.
That's how salmon tastes to me.
Oh, that's sad. Wow, jeez.
I am back now.
I can understand why you wouldn't like that.
Yeah, that's why I don't like salmon. Fun fact, my mom has the same problem. That's why we're like, salmon? Nuh-uh. No thanks.
It sounds to me like it's in the same vein of people where coriander tastes like soap.
That's me.
Yeah, I like coriander slightly.
It's soap.
My dad has a coriander in his greenhouse. After
Coriander's
I found out about that whole soap thing, I tried tasting it. I don't feel like it tastes like soap. I just feel like it tastes horrible.
That's fine too, as long as you don't like it. Sorry, I had to. Also, I figured out I didn't have to glue it in place or stick it in place because there was a little thing I could wedge it in. So I did that, and now it's stuck.
Yes. Wedge it into the crack.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So, stream, do you come here often? I see. Okay.
I think you need to sing a song for them first.
Det glade pizzabud. Jeg bringer alt, hvad du behøver.
Ude i ørkenens brandvarme sand vandrer en lille iskagemand. Alle hans is, de var smeltet til vand. Stakkels lille iskagemand. Der er 142 vers i den nu.
No.
Lad det ske, lad dem se.
No.
Jeg viser mig, som jeg er. I så sne, vil I se.
Vi finder os ikke i sexikane. Vi finder os ikke i.
Are you guys singing in a different language, or am I having a stroke?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to need a minute because in addition to picking them up, I was required to go get ice cream. So I need a moment to finish my ice cream.
Yeah,
Okay,
sure.
where's our ice cream?
Yeah.
I was eating it for you.
Did you get anything berry
that's nice of
flavored?
you.
Hell no.
What?
What did you get?
2 scoops of chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream in a waffle cone.
Sounds good. Who wants berry ice cream?
I do.
I like blood orange and yogurt. Oh, frozen
Because
yogurt.
we all know that cookie dough is starting to get overrated because everything is fucking cookie dough nowadays.
Yeah, but I've been eating this chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream since I was like 14.
Yeah, but hey, I had Dumle ice cream today. I win.
Nice.
Now make it Fantails.
Fantails wishes it was Dumle.
Where I went is a place called Brahms, which is a local like chain, and they make all their ice cream themselves and all that kind of stuff. So it's good stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
I do like. There's a place around the corner that I like better, but they do frozen custard instead of ice cream. I love that. Has a Cyntari returned yet?
I don't
Not
think
that I
so.
know of.
Maybe he went to get ice cream too.
Maybe so. I will tell you this: one of the coolest things he ever did. I was having a bad time. I don't remember exactly what was going on. I just know I was really not doing well mentally. Just really upset about a bunch of stuff. Really tired. Really stressed out. I think it was work related. And
When is it not?
Well, for me anymore, work is never my problem. But it was back in our World of Warcraft days, and he's like, "Well, I got to get off early. Sorry, got to run." And he hopped off, and then like 30 minutes later, I feel a tap on my shoulder, and he's standing there with ice cream. So he got off early, left, went and got ice cream, called my wife so she would open the door for him without ringing the doorbell, and then just showed up, stand behind me, gave me ice cream. He was like, "All right, I'll see you later," and then left.
Oh, that is adorable.
Yep.
So fucking old.
When are you getting married?
Now, right now. That's why he's not back yet. He's here on one knee proposing.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I ship it.
Yeah,
Yeah, solo stream.
of course.
Mm-hmm.
If the whole world was a little more like Cyntari, we wouldn't need heaven. We'd already be there.
No, well,
Yeah, I could agree to that.
You're just saying that because you want to touch his kitten.
I have 2 kittens running about, but yes.
In the same colors.
Yeah.
We know that 2
too.
kittens is not enough for you. Unless there's a 0 behind it, it's not enough.
Just 1 0? Come on, man. What do you think of me?
That you're some
You're
kind
pretty
of
much
kitten
drowning in pussy.
A dream would be to run like a cat hotel or a cat cafe or something like that. But I don't have the skills to run anything.
The key to running something is hiring, yeah.
Yeah, hire John.
I mean,
Ah,
duh.
Huh?
He's gonna be the chef.
No,
I will-
he's got to be out front in like the Japanese girl maid outfit.
Now that's me.
Mm-hmm.
Irashimasu!
We'll put you both out there. Just you two in those outfits with tea and hundreds of cats running around.
Ohio!
Ohayo gozaimasu, Jonathan desu! Yoroshiku!
Oni-chan!
Deku desu ne? Sugoi desu ne, huh?
You know, I really worry about you guys sometimes.
Hey, you started it.
Don't worry, my dad worries too.
About John?
Yes.
I don't blame him. I worry about me too.
So,
So,
while I finish eating my ice cream,
what kind
Mhm.
of ice cream?
chocolate chip cookie dough, waffle cone from Brahms.
So
Brahms.
Ryden just got ice cream without us.
Mm-hmm. When I went
I
and
got
got
donuts and coffee.
when I went and picked up the family, they demanded ice cream. And since there's one literally on the same block as my house, it was hard to say no
I wonder why they demanded it.
because Caitlin wanted it.
2-year overdate hot candy.
I have apricot puff pastry.
I have pepper nuts.
Isn't
Yeah, you
puff
do.
pastry isn't puff pastry just like the dough itself, and you have to like put stuff in it? Or
Yeah,
something?
pretty much. That's pretty much it. That's what I
So
have.
puff pastry by itself is just uncooked dough.
Well, it is cooked.
Well, it is called like abrikozenflappen, but that's Dutch, and then the English version just says apricot puff pastry. But
You know,
it's just a pastry with apricot filling, you guys.
You know, something I find kind of funny. One of my favorite things they had in Lidl in the Bake Off section was
Mhm.
just puff
Yeah.
pastry filled with different kinds of kernels, and that was it.
Yeah.
Fucking love those.
Mm-hmm.
And then they stopped having them. I'm upset.
Talking about like tarts, like fruit-filled puff pastry tarts.
Nice.
I recently bought some of the sausages and bread. I forgot what they're called.
Pigs and blankets,
Pigs and blankets. Sure.
I think.
Yes. And I got very disappointed when I got home
I'll be right back.
because they were all vegan.
What is it with you and getting the vegan things, Nexus?
I don't know.
He doesn't read the labels when he gets them until he gets home.
There was no label. It just said pigs and blankets. And there's a whole row of it.
You know, another thing Little has that I enjoy, but every time I've gone after I had them once they've disappeared, was the croissant with a sausage in it.
Nice.
Like a sausage roll, but just with a croissant. They were great.
Ah, okay, now I get it. Yeah.
Pigs in a blanket?
Yeah, pigs in a blanket, but croissant instead of regular pastry.
Speaking of croissants and the fact that I'm eating a donut here, one of those cronuts.
Oh, yes.
Donuts.
Yes.
Oh my god, they just melt in your mouth. All those layers.
They're amazing.
Oh.
I had one in Paris. They're awesome.
Like you find yourself with the option to get a cronut, get a cronut, especially if it's from a good bakery.
Robot?
Cronut.
I mean, get yourself a Crobat too. Crobat's a great Pokemon.
Yeah,
What the heck is a cronut?
A cronut is
Oh.
literally like croissant dough
Yeah.
donut.
Croissant donut. It's like a multi-layered sweet donut.
It is so good.
That both looks and sounds
Incredible.
terrible.
What?
That's
I'm
no.
getting diabetes just looking at
Oh,
this.
terrible as in like for you. Yes.
Ah,
it is awful for
oh.
you. Yeah.
Also, I don't have a sweet tooth whatsoever, so
I want one Sweet
Yeah.
Tooth Fighter. He's a weird ass clown man with fiery burning hair.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to know how he got the hair.
What hair? Can you show me in specifically in a DM to Nari?
No.
What?
Don't
Please
send the haha men to Nari. She doesn't like him.
Yeah, no.
The clowns? Yeah, please don't.
Yeah, the honkers.
I don't blame you on that.
I'm fine with you just calling them clowns.
Well, I like calling them other things. I mean, if I want to call
No.
them cream pies, then I'm gonna get on the list.
The question I have is, does she have a problem with the Joker?
No.
But he's the clown prince of crime.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not a clown.
But he is. Nari is one of those critical
He still has human features.
So do clowns.
No, they don't. Their makeup make it that it's no longer human features. I can't explain it otherwise than that.
So when
You
somebody
react
puts on a
to,
fake
the
nose,
Japanese.
Just the fake nose is fine.
okay, so fake nose and hair is where you draw the line.
Pretty much.
Does it have to be red? Or can it be any
No.
color?
So what if they have makeup and are wearing a hat?
That is starting to cross the line.
All right, let's
Do you
let's
react the same way to Kabuki warriors?
let's
I
stop.
don't know.
Let's stop giving her a hard time.
No.
They always give me a hard time. I'd rather have that than them giving me compliments. So let's stick with giving me a hard time, okay?
So you prefer hard rather than soft?
Sure.
We'll go with that. All right. So, yeah. So she writes up a quick contract for you guys, and it's very straightforward. Find whoever's committing these murders, and anyone associated with that. In return, upon the murders being stopped, whether that through the death of the assailants or arrest, then she commits to cashing in a contract with her cousin, who is one of the leaders on the front of the siege in Gilgamesh, to acquire the prerequisite amount of Baiatorian green steel that is needed for the construct.
Right.
So the person she is consorting with to get this Baiatorian green steel is actively involved with the siege.
Mm-hmm. Her cousin.
Hey, cousin, let's go bowling.
I'm kind of wondering whether they know Carrie. Or she knows Carrie, I should say.
Be weird if she was standing there and you could ask her.
Yeah, but I'm doubting whether to actually ask that question, which is why I'm just saying it out loud like this.
I mean,
Yeah, she might
Carrie
bite,
has
and you might
already been mentioned.
Yeah,
so we've
it
already
has
mentioned
been.
Carrie's name like to Dryden's face, and we've already established that she's right there.
Right behind him.
I mean, yeah, but
Now,
have we tried to figure out what her facial expression was?
you get the impression that Dryden thinks he knows him. Anyways.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, she didn't react in any way to mention to Carrie.
That would require an insight check.
Can I?
Can I?
You can do them whenever you want. You just have to ask for them. Nobody ever does them. Like, I don't know if she's telling the truth. It'd be weird if there was a game mechanic you guys could use to tell.
Yeah, but we don't.
Yes, torture.
It's the idea of not wanting to abuse the all too abused polygraph test of the D&D games. So, you know, I was like, she's telling the truth, inside checks. Like, sometimes people are just really good liars, and sometimes you just can't tell, and sometimes the situation demands that you believe them.
So, Talah, she's hard for you to read.
Mm-hmm.
But Nate and Abraham, as far as you can tell, there was no reaction to that name. Neither positive nor negative.
Neap.
Sorry. So he is wandered off to do his own thing.
Yes.
Right now. And she's offered up this contract. Have anybody signed
it? She signed it.
Well, yeah, that's all well and good. I'm just asking the group. Anybody else sign
Well,
it?
I'm going to sign it.
Okay.
I'm still not sure we should be even trying to gather the materials for this. But sure.
I mean,
we can gather as much of it as we want and then just leave a few things out of it to think of whether or not we want to finish it, but at least we'll have stuff if we do want to.
We are just running into this without really asking why we're doing it. Are we trying to... It would stop the war, I suppose. If it worked the way we envisioned.
I mean, like I said, we can start gathering some stuff and then figure out whether we want to actually do it later.
Yeah, Abe's trying to figure out if he cares that much. Not just because it's so far removed. He's like literally on the edge of the world. About as far removed from the city as you can be. He's not really been touched by anything that's happened.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like there's no emotional connection to the event. It's like, well, I guess it's the right thing to do, but all of this for an uncertainty. To give a great big power to an unknown.
Pretty much.
You know, materials aside, there is a murderer out there.
It's a good thing to go catch him, whether or not we get something out of it.
Why don't we do that while we think on this?
Well, I've already put my name down.
If nothing else,
yourself, have you?
I thought that was what we're doing. I've signed it too.
Yeah, I'm just role playing out the fact that we are kind of jumping into this head first.
Yeah.
Yes. And we don't have a clue of what the deeper layers even entail.
I'm going to look over at the very nice devil woman and ask her, is it necessary for all of us to sign it?
No, just whoever does sign it, all signatories are bound.
All right.
So again,
Well-
to be clear, there is no, if you would reread the language, you'll see that there is no negative consequence for not completing this task. It's just the only requirements of each party is by people who do.
Oh, well, of course, it's not that I mind
Right.
doing.
It's only upon completion of your task am I bound to do anything. But if you don't complete yours, I don't have to do mine, and we're fine.
It is not
Right.
because I mind doing it. It is because I am under certain obligations. I do not believe him I serve would appreciate me entering into these kinds of contracts. That is simply why.
Of course.
I confer with my
Mm.
colleagues. I mean, my parliament.
Friends.
My parliament.
Your ravens.
What do you think?
I mean, I can ask them if you want to. They
I
can give an
almost
actual
really-
reaction.
I actually almost really wish that familiars could speak to their animals that they're shaped like, because I could just have Roscoe ask Roscoe what Roscoe's saying, and so Roscoe could just feed me everything that Roscoe's trying to tell me.
And then Roscoe said to Roscoe that Roscoe said about Roscoe.
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
So sad that speak with animals is just a self target.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maybe if I practice a bit more, I can cast it on you one day.
Ooh, all right, I'll sign.
I mean,
So I'll sign. I'll sign the paper. I am bound to
Rank
now
minus
find this
roll.
person.
Just for
No.
fun?
No, you're bound to, if you find them, to receive payment.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
it. We're not bound to finding him.
You're not actually committed to doing it. It's just saying, hey, I agree with you. If anybody who signs this goes and does this, you will get this reward. So technically, like if Othokent doesn't sign it and Othokent's the one who like kills the bad guys, she could wiggle out of it.
Yeah. Pretty
in
much.
theory. Oh, well, I didn't agree with him. I agreed with the rest of you.
Right.
That would definitely be a thing that a devil, a normal devil would do.
yeah.
But
She's not your average devil.
No, she's so much hotter.
Just for fun, I am gonna cast Speak with Animals
Okay.
and then ask Roscoe whether or not he thinks it's a good idea that Abraham is signing this contract. Or trying to find the culprit in all of this.
Well, Abraham. So, in response to your question, Cyntari, that would require an Arcana check to know that. And
Wow!
so yeah, after having conversations and looking at things, you do realize that she is an Narikins. You know, I'd say you'd know most of that. So yeah, you would know that she has true sight. You'd also catch on the fact that she hasn't actually been speaking. Like once you realize what she is, you guys perceive her as speaking to you, but she's not. She's using telepathy to talk to you. She doesn't actually speak common. I would say, what would Roscoe say?
Yeah, what would he say?
He would ask, does doing this provide more food and shelter?
Pretty sure it will.
Then yes, it's something we should do because food and shelter are important. Because he's a bird. What's he
No,
going to
it's
care
fine.
about?
No, I'm perfectly fine. 100%
I am
acceptable.
telling Abe.
I don't expect Roscoe to be a chess level genius or anything. I expect him to be a bird.
I mean, yeah, so.
Hmm.
I'm just role playing my character. He's talking to his birds. If somebody else wants to literally try to translate what they're saying, that's on them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Old man's talking to his pets.
Alright.
Yeah, so, Miss, there is the question that he had about true sight. Wouldn't one of your kind, in so much yourself, have that ability?
Well, a woman's intuition is strong, but even if I could see, keep in mind it would be a programming language which I may not, in all likelihood, understand. Contractual language is my specialty, not code.
Let me see. Encoded.
So be very specific when trying to figure something out.
It's like thinking now. It's like eyes
Yeah,
are like moving around.
You have to understand is that yes, could he could also physically read the cube, but he hooked it to the computer to be able to pull that information off in a timely manner. Otherwise, that amount of data would have taken him about a week to copy down by hand and then put it into the device, the computer, and then print it out. So by having the proper lens, we're talking the complexity of the code that could be if it is what he says he believes it is, that would take me months upon months to maybe even years to transcribe out, and then we'd have to turn around and punch it all back in. But a lens, he'll be able to attach it and pull it within hours.
I see. Understood. Thank you very much.
Of course.
Much more complicated than you all running around for all that. Find this killer person who's
that's
old man.
And that's something that's always fascinated me about mortals. They never seem to think that things are worth putting out the effort that is required to gain them. That's why my relatives have been so successful with them. They always want the shortcut. Sometimes things are valuable because they are difficult to obtain. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Easy perspective to make when you're immortal.
Hey, speak for yourself. I used my last 10 years to get a PhD.
Interesting. And what?
Well, medicine.
Oh, you're a doctor. I wasn't aware of that.
Oh, no worries. I am Dr. Othokent.
Consequently, we have a tendency to have cuts, sometimes deep, and things like that. Is there anything you would recommend we use on that to prevent infection?
Well, if you're going for the chemical solutions, usually iodine is great, even though it hurts quite a bit. If you're going for more natural remedies, then, well, something as simple
Spit
as honey.
and moss.
No, not spit and moss, Nathaniel. You have more bacteria in your mouth than in your asshole.
It works for my dad.
How did you measure that to come to that conclusion?
A microscope.
Is that specific to all people or just Nate?
I mean, you could always use turmeric.
We've been using iodine and then using a chemical solution to hold the wound shut, like super glue.
What?
Super glue is not a healthy thing to close your wounds. If it's a deeper cut, usually some mild painkillers and some stitches can make sure it heals up properly. If nothing else, applying a compound press and just keeping it held together will usually have your body's natural healing factors take care of the rest, unless it's too deep. Then medical attention is usually best.
Works too.
Interesting. Well, I appreciate your input, Doctor.
You're quite welcome. I am also adept in magical healing, and if in case that's something that might be needed.
I'm just adept in plants and herbs.
My vertically challenged friend has a tendency to not stop after he gets cut, and it becomes problematic, which is where the super glues come in. Figured any closed wound is better than an open one.
Well, then I think you should take the doctor's advice and just use stitches next time.
well, stitches take quite a while. If you are going for the quickest, and I'm doing quickest way, there is some truth to what Nathaniel said with a stapler. There are medical staplers usually used for surgeries. Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'll need to look into that. Time is usually of the essence with him.
Well,
Thank
if you need to acquire one, I do have connections.
We'll see. Well,
Just a guy in a trench coat with staplers.
you hear a large. You at this point you hear a loud crash and just hear Lyra from back somewhere in the shop. He goes, "It seems I'm needed. Could you show yourselves out, please?"
Of course.
Yeah.
The same way we came in.
Yes.
All right.
Coming. You don't happen to have that stapler on you, do you?
As a matter of fact, I do.
I borrow that. I have a feeling.
Sure. Do you need some painkillers too, or do you want him to remember?
Oh, he needs a reminder.
All right, have fun.
As a side note, I have actually had staples like that put in without anesthetic before when I busted my head open.
Oh, interesting.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, busted the back of my head open at a church camp, crowd surfing. Yep, and they took me we were in a big auditorium. They took me to the front where the ticket office was. Doctor came in, put his knee on my back and says, "This is going to hurt," and put 4 surgical staples in the back of my head.
Yeah.
Oof.
Funnily enough,
I've only had them in my abdomen.
Yeah, that wasn't so bad. What really hurt is this is back when I had long hair. The next day I was brushing my hair and I'd forgotten about them and I caught the staples with the brush. Yeah, that was a not fun experience.
I'll be honest, the reason I know so much medical shit is partially because my grandpa has weird interests, and secondly, there's a lot of surgery simulator games out there, and I played a lot of them.
Awesome. Well, so you guys step outside, and the door is remotely closed behind you, and you're standing. You guys are still. You're kind of in the northwest part of the city, which is where Dryden's shop is at.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to do from here?
So, do we want to get right into finding this person, or do we just want to wander about the city, get to know it a little better, or what do we want to do?
I mean, if we are to
About
chase
the
the...
sister?
The
That's a
sister's in the
possibility
middle
too.
of a desert, 3,000 miles away.
100.
Yeah.
300.
That
no.
is
300,000 miles away.
that is gonna take us quite a while to get there and back. So
That is true.
I mean, we are here, and we are to find some ruffian that are currently creating bad rumors for people. Getting a better feel of how the city's laid out is probably our best first move.
We need to have an established foothold to fall back to in case things go bad.
So
We need
how
a
about we find a
boathold.
place to stay then? Because the ship's gonna be in dock for 2 days, I think it was.
I believe
Mhm.
we could trade our coin for goods and services.
Sounds logical.
Damn it, Cyntari. I hate you.
I mean, we can also sell fish and hope that it's not demon fish.
Wait,
What?
you turn yourself into a fish, we sell you, you turn back, and we just keep repeating the process. Infinite money!
I can do that
please.
twice a day.
Please don't encourage that.
What? You don't want me encouraged to turn into animals. The
Oh,
one cool
that's the
thing I can
whole-
do.
Tell
I-
him he's asking to scam people.
Oh.
I know you're
I just
excited
thought it was
about
a fun
turning into
joke.
Animals, but speaking of animals, that's a weird desert mouse. Why is it jumping around on its hind legs? And it's gone.
I do
Jumping
believe those are
around.
called
Too.
gerbils.
Durable.
Is it with a
Well-
hard G or a soft G? It's not Gerbil, is it?
No, Goebbels was somebody different. This is a different kind of mouse.
Have we seen any gargoyle falcons yet?
What?
Have you been looking for any of them?
I mean, duh, Talah has read up on this shit, so she's keeping an eye out to see anything that she's read about.
Obviously, we're
walking
searching
around?
for traps. I'm on the highest of alert.
Give me a perception check.
Okay. $18.
So you do notice there are 2 or 3 shapes kind of circling lazily, very high up in the sky. But you can tell based off of how indistinct they are, how far they are. They're very, very high up. So that must be some of them.
Right. And we've passed over canals as well, I'm thinking, or no?
As far as I know, you guys are still just standing outside the shop.
I meant going to the shop.
No, you didn't pass over
Okay.
any canals because you never left the industrial district.
So, I want to go into town. I want to see some shit that I read about. If that's fine with you guys. Because yes, we're on the job and everything, but I do want to explore too.
I mean, it will still accomplish what we are looking for. Places where you can shop are usually surrounded by places where you can sleep.
Beautiful. Because I've read about these koi fish that have like these vivid colors, almost like they're glowing and all that. And then cats with glowing eyes in various colors. And then there's these rust-eating metal beetles. And there's steam hoppers. They're awesome. One landed on my face. And then there's also these gecko kind of things, the cobblestone crawlers. Apparently it's good luck if you spot one of those, because they're very well hidden. And then those things up in the sky up there, those are probably the gargoyle falcons. Jeez, that's hard to say.
Well, we are going to be looking for a place to stay and getting to know the city, so trying to go for your little animal treasure hunt shouldn't be too much of a diversion.
I mean, animal treasure hunt, plant treasure hunt. How about both? Both sounds good.
Nature treasure hunt.
Yeah. I like that one.
All
I'm
right.
so tempted to
So-
fly up there. She
So
looks up in the sky.
the central part of the city is where you will. So after you guys, as you guys keep heading west through the city, you will cross the major saltwater canal, which is a very large one, which is really used for moving goods away from the docks to the inner part of the city. And then, so those are a little bit larger stone bridges. But then once you get a little bit further in, you start getting into smaller homes. You start getting into more of the Gothic architecture. Things like that.
Architecture? Like spikes and stuff?
Yeah.
That's cool. Like, is there any places around here?
Well, I mean, this entire part of the city is going to look like that.
Right. Like, we're looking for a place to stay, aren't we? We're not starting the investigation. We need like.
Yes.
Yeah, but on the way there, we passed things.
Yeah, you're heading into the heart of the city, which is where you're starting to see all this architecture. You start to see the silver leaf trees, which their leaves almost look metallic silver. So very shiny, very everything. So everything, it's like, imagine a disco ball that's not obnoxious, is what it's kind of like, right? So there's lights being reflected in all kinds of different ways. As you guys walk through, there's a soft rustle of their long leaves hanging out and everything as you're walking through. You do start to go over some of the iron bridges, the wrought iron bridges over the freshwater canals, and that's where you will see the koi fish, the canal fish.
Beautiful.
And you're all the stones you're working on look like stained glass, but they're not glass. They're actual. They have rock texture to them. If you're keeping an eye out, you could have to give me another perception check to see if you see any cobblestone crawlers.
Yes. No.
No, you do not see any. You also do not notice any of the cats.
No!
So,
why do you have to take the cats away from me? Soundscream, why?
Yep, and then you come across a bridge and come around a corner, and this is where you get into the main market area, which is kind of a big kind of town square, big circular area. There are flower beds with all the different glow blossoms in them around here. Lots of the ivy, right? It's all just kind of almost a barrage of colors. From where you guys come from, it's just so strange. It's almost like Dorothy stepping out of the black and white into the Technicolor Wonderland kind of deal. But yeah, there's shops here, there's restaurants, there's places to stay. So yeah, all of that, you can find any of that here.
Yeah, so as soon as we walk up there and the colors come into view, Talah is literally just going, freeze for a moment, take everything in.
Is she okay?
Looking at Pip.
What's wrong with her?
Back at all the colors.
Is she gonna be all right?
Can I?
It's
Please?
Oh, wait,
Just stay within eye shot.
Okay. Gone. Just checking out all the plants.
Okay.
Just making sure he's not dropping anything.
Oh yeah, about that. She might.
Anything.
She might be dropping stuff. We all know Talah.
Nathaniel, I assume you can keep an eye on Talah, because then me and Abraham can go find us some lodgings meanwhile.
Yes, I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Natural curiosity is just a good thing. Though it might take a bit overhand with her, at least it's something nice.
Sure thing. Stay safe. See you soon.
Yes. I'll just teleport it away if it gets close.
I'll just throw magic at it if it gets close.
Essentially what I just said, too.
True, but I cannot match your teleportation skills. They are quite magnificent to look at.
Yes, effective, but short-lived. They find a way to get back to me. I can only do it so many times. Anyways, we need to find lodging. Where?
Yes.
Do like an inn? Do we want to rent like an entire building? Or what kind of money do we even have?
I mean, I definitely have enough for a room, but not much beyond that. Entire building is not in my repertoire.
Yes. I don't exactly have much money.
But staying in the public eye and not renting an entire building helps not point a giant target on our backs.
Yes.
So let's go find a decent place to stay. With some good food, too.
A room for the night. Yes.
Yes.
So we're looking for not too expensive, not
Yeah, average
in the
lodgings.
ghetto.
Little middle class type of thing, yeah.
Yeah, I mean here in the market, there's a couple places. The one that looks like nice but not extravagant is just called the Hawk's Roost.
The Hawk's Roost. Is that going to be okay with you, Roscoe? Scritch. I don't think they have any hawks. At least I hope they don't. Yes, it's all right. Let's check it out. Any hawks inside?
There are not. There's lots of bird like feather imagery and hawk imagery. Like the posts and everything are carved and stuff like that. And this is just an inn. It's not a bar or a tavern. It's just an inn.
So it's just rooms. Gotcha.
It's just rooms. Yep.
Nice.
Wait, one, two, three. I'm holding up my fingers, like counting. How many do we want? 1, 2, 3, 4. What do you think? What could we afford?
I think if we...
It's 5 silver per room per night.
I think that if we stick to 2 rooms, it's best.
Yeah.
Try not to spread ourselves out too thin. Not because I mind people being comfortable, but
It's like Nate and Talah know each other, so we just me and you and then them two. And, or
That sounds just fine.
Share with
Don't-
Talah and I share with
don't-
Nate.
Don't forget Gobs.
Oh, Milla, that's right.
if nothing else, we can have a girl's room and a boy's room.
That'll work. Let's do that.
So
2
2 rooms. So that'll be a golden night. How many nights do you want to rent a room for? So it'll be what they do is it'll be a gold a night or 5 gold for a week for 2 rooms.
I'm just gonna pay for the week.
Okay, so mark out 5 gold.
I just have. All right, now we're covered for lodgings.
Now, where we're going to meet up with those two? Are you
I'm
back at the bush?
I'm assuming they're still at the flowers. If nothing else, we still have phones, Abraham.
This is true. Infernal thing always just beeps at me. Low battery, low battery. I charged you yesterday.
Ah, yes. It would be nice if you could get a cell phone with infinite battery.
Anyways, let's go find the other 2.
All right, you're able to find them fairly easily as Talah is running around like a crazy person.
Yeah. Also, continuously scribbling down stuff in her notebook.
Of course. You do find a cat, but it's a normal cat. It's not the magically colored-eyed cat.
It's still a cat. Thank you for giving me at least a cat.
You're welcome.
Oh, look, violin strings on legs.
Jeez.
Does it work for bow strings too?
Let's find out.
No. My name's Dr. Othokent, and I disapprove this message.
So,
Oh.
we find
So
them.
is this where we pick up a pet?
No.
Oh.
It won't survive a day.
I will pet him and hug him and call him George.
No, don't.
That-
No. No.
George.
No.
bad choice of name.
Yeah, very bad choice of name.
Yeah.
Not fans of the Kings of England, huh?
No, it's
No.
former companion. Let's say it like that.
And we're just
Recent.
referencing. We're just referencing
Yeah.
Looney Tunes.
The cat I lost on February 14th.
Ah.
I will hug him and pet him and squeeze him.
If I could, I
Yeah.
would.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, kitty, kitty, kitty. No, 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 no.
And it's off. You spooked him.
Okay, so you guys are all back together?
yes.
So, we have a place to stay at this Falcon place. The fighting Falcon? The flying Falcon. Board Falcon?
I mean, there's falcons flying
Hawk? Was it
above
the hawk?
us.
I'm like asking, the hawk?
Well, I think it should be falcon because there's like 50 or 60 of those here.
We have lodgings.
Pip,
We
let
have
the cat
Butterbean.
go.
Just giving it scritches.
Fine.
So, What's our first move? Sleep, or shall we start investigating?
We
have
do
a
still
I
have,
mean,
we still do have a lot of daylight left.
there's some stuff I'd like to buy. But I don't know if I can
Like?
get it here. Oh, some herbs. Let's see if there's a herbalist around. If that's okay with you guys.
You're looking at one.
What,
I mean a place where I can buy herbs, as in a herbalist.
Yeah,
Can
how
I
come
buy
you-
herbs that you have?
I mean, I have a few herbalist kit.
Yeah, I have a herbalist kit too, but I'd like to buy some extra stuff.
All right,
would be good to get some rations too.
we're gonna do
If we
shopping trip, or I guess.
shopping episode. Woo.
Okay. All right. Yeah. In this kind of town square, it's easy to find a herbalist shop. So what are you looking for?
I am currently looking for turmeric. And
Matcha.
no. How the hell do I say this? I don't know how to say this word. I'm gonna send it to the Americans. Maybe they can tell me how to say that.
I've never seen that word before. What is it? Is that
It
a
is
real
an
thing?
it is an extract
Technogyno?
of the
Technogyno.
bark of a particular type of pine tree.
And it does what?
It helps promote skin health.
Sure, skin health.
Yes. And then wrong notebook. I need this note. This
It
has herbs in
is
it.
The maritime pine
Hi,
or
John.
cluster pine. Atlantic Europe region. Yeah, it's a pine tree.
And then some basil.
Basil.
Basil, also
Mhm.
fine.
Authoritatively corrects your pronunciation. You will be American. You will speak American.
Oregano.
And yeah, you know what? Parsley.
Okay. So the more common stuff, real easy to get a hold of, real cheap, like a copper, for all of those. For the really weird pronounced one, that one's
Yeah.
going to be 5 silver.
5 silver and 3 copper. Then
Mm-hmm.
I'll just do 6 silver.
Okay. So they will double up on the other spices.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Does that make her a spice girl?
Yes.
Forest spice.
I was going to say confusing spice, but whatever. You go, you.
I'd be spice of life.
All right. So you have found the herbalist.
Herbalist, we got our herbs. How are we going to
Yes.
investigate this thing? Excuse me, dear sir, where are the murders? Oh, over here. Yes, thank you.
Maybe we can have her again. Maybe we can hear some rumors in a tavern or something.
I'm gonna do the thing Gobx taught me. I'm gonna go on the internet.
Hey,
True.
hey, Nate.
Yeah.
As you guys are standing around in the herbalist shop, as she's finishing paying, I need a wisdom saving throw from you. It's not.
Oh no.
You're not saving against something. It's just that's the easiest way to get the result of what I want you to use to get me a roll.
Did you get the result you wanted?
What the fuck is going on tonight? There's so many nat ones. There's so many.
So you can't tell where it comes from, but you feel a pulse in your planar sense.
Yeah.
And it's different than normal, because in the past it's been like with Lyra, you could tell, you could like kind of smell or get a sense of who she is. The only time you felt something like this is when you guys stepped into the Feywild, that exact stepping. And that's why it's so hard for you to kind of pinpoint where it's at, because it's a portal of some kind, not a normal planar portal, but there's something just happened.
I see.
Does anybody have a passive perception over 16?
I don't have a passive perception over 10.
I have a passive perception of 16.
Talah, as you finish checking out, you hear some bells ringing, and you hear footsteps running outside.
From where we are?
From outside the building you're in.
Oh. Guys, I think there's something happening outside.
Yeah,
All right.
something feels weird.
What way?
I heard some bells, maybe like alarms, and there's people running.
Let's go out and see.
As you step out, as you guys step outside, you can start to see, you see 4 or 5 city guards, which are obviously dressed in like police uniforms. And they're running down the street. One of them's ringing a handbell, yelling at people to like, out of the way, because it's so crowded. They're all on foot. And they're running down towards an alley down a couple blocks to the left.
Are we going?
Well, there's a murderer on the loose. This may be related.
Maybe.
That would be a beautiful coincidence.
Odd planar ping.
Well, then let's definitely look. This may... let's go look.
Yep.
Kim?
So we're going to go look.
So as you start to move down, there's kind of a crowd around the entrance of an alleyway, and there's a couple police officers trying to hold people back. Stay back, stay back. And you hear gasps and people gossiping and stuff like that.
What are they gossiping about?
Is it another one? Did they find a... Did you hear? Yeah, they said some lady's in the alley, and she's dead. And you can overhear things like that, whispering about things like that. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's another one. Is that the third one this week?
I think we found our starting point.
You cast see invisibility? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I cast guidance on Abraham.
The only thing that pops out when you do that is you can see, and it's weird because now that you can see invisibility, you notice their irises popping out. You see several cats kind of on the roof ledges and whatnot. Their bodies are invisible, but you can clearly see their 2 different colored eyes. And they're not natural colors. They're like purple and green and things like that.
Before I cast out, those cats were invisible.
Everything but their irises were, yes.
So I couldn't see them. And
yes, you wouldn't have been able to see them. You would have been able to see their irises.
If I had noticed them.
If you'd noticed them.
Passive perception of 10, I'm assuming I didn't see up in the sky 2 dots against the sky itself.
Correct. But now that you've got seeing invisibility, you can see the cats.
You can see that, right?
See what?
The cats.
Nope.
Well, then there are invisible cats on top of that roof.
That's awesome. Also, please, Pip, don't grab me again. and I'm gonna turn into what's the most common bird I've seen flying about here?
Probably just robins.
Well, then I'm gonna turn into a robin, fly over it,
don't
and
be
see
cat
what
food.
is happening.
Why?
I'm.
So as you fly over and you kind of land on one of the gutters that look down the alley, you can see two or three police officers just kind of starting to cordon everything off. You see a middle-aged woman, nude. Well, I don't know if you could. She's not wearing any clothes, but you're not exactly looking at anything because she has been absolutely eviscerated. Arms, legs are all torn completely wide open, completely disemboweled. Head has been removed and is stuck upside down on a barrel. Just absolute flaying of this body. And you do see that they are taking pictures of something is written on the wall. My question for you is, do you speak Infernal?
I don't think I do. Do I?
I can read it. Oh god.
Nope.
Words.
Yep. So yeah, there's something written on the wall in her blood or in blood. You don't know if it's hers or not, but you don't know what it says.
The Chamber of Secrets have been opened. Enemies of the air, beware.
Blood.
No, I only read good fantasy books, so I don't know anything about that.
Fuck you. Alright. So I'm gonna hop from place to place or fly from place to place a bit around that area so I'm not stuck in one position. Because Abram said there were cats. Because,
Yeah,
I'd like to not be eaten by a cat.
You can see, so it's not true invisibility. It's like predator invisibility. They're just clear.
Okay.
So when you're up there, you can see them, but you mainly their eyes stand out. And at first, it looks like just two floating cat eyes, but they're not interested in you at all. They're just
okay.
up there. They're lazing about.
Then I'm fine with sticking to where I am.
Yeah.
If they make any move towards me, I think I'm gonna hop to a next place. So make sure that I don't.
Yeah, I don't think you would be as worried about it because most of the cats here that are magical are number one more intelligent than normal cats and are almost always pets to arcane practitioners.
But I've also heard that there's real cats, so it's just keeping an eye out.
Yeah. But there you go.
Yeah. So I'm just sticking there looking at the scene and what is happening, what they're doing. Maybe fly down at a certain point, just kind of hopping about like a bird. See if I can hear anything they're saying.
Yeah, as you fly down, you get shooed away because it's a crime scene. Like, hey, no, get the bird out of here. We don't want it contaminating anything. And they start to shoot, get out of here. Get out of here.
Yeah, okay. I think I'm gonna try that every once in a while to see if I can just scoot down or fly by and see if I can hear anything.
You would just hear them talking about, make sure to get this, get a picture of that. Let's get this marked off. Let's make sure these people stay back.
Okay.
Make sure we plant the evidence. Make sure we cover up this crime. Yep.
Beautiful. Okay, yeah.
Does Abraham trust the system? Fuck no.
I mean, I can stay like this for 4 hours, so...
Fuck the police coming straight from the underground.
Okay, so while she's doing this, what's everybody else doing?
The cordon's pretty tight. No way to slip through.
Well, I mean, you're not going to be able to slip through, but it's not very deep. It's not a very deep alley. It's maybe 15, 20 feet in. So what are you wanting to do?
Oh, I'll just get close.
Yeah, I mean, you can push up through the crowd and get to where the police are actually holding people back.
Okay.
I would do the same because I want to see if I can send some more and perhaps track something.
So your senses are definitely tingling around here, so to speak. You do feel that spiciness that you smelled on her or sensed on her is strong in this area, but there's none of the sweetness to it.
Yeah.
Actually, and it's a different spice. It's not, how do I explain this? It's harsher. It's more like you know how you eat something that's spicy, it's like, ooh, that's hot, and then sometimes you eat something that's spicy and it just burns. Right? It's more of a painful. This one's more of a painful.
A ring of fire.
So it's related, but it's not the same.
Cool.
And it's very inconsistent. It kind of comes and goes in its strength and spikiness and everything. It's very different in that regards. But it's you're like, okay, I get how it's, and I apologize. It's not infernal. My brain's not working. Abyssal. Does anybody speak or anybody who has seen it speak Abyssal? Which I think that's just her, and she does not. So
I can't see it from the end of the alley.
you can.
Oh, well, then I can read every language.
It's written in. Does that also tell you what language it's written in? As a side note, for my future knowledge, or does it just you can read? It just says you can read it. Okay. It's so the message that's written on the wall just says the lights they speak to me.
What kind of gibberish is that? Makes no sense. Lights can't speak.
And I think that's where we're going to end the session for this week.
All right.
It's a good place to stop, and we'll take it from there. So, for anybody who's watching along with us, we appreciate you sticking with us as we got to visit Berkoln for the first time, and got to meet a few people. As always, the VOD will be posted to YouTube in the next day or so. Feel free to follow us there. It's YouTube. It's Dinosaur Party is the YouTube channel. You can also get that from the description of our channel here on Twitch. But other than that, thanks for sticking with us, and everybody have a great week.
Bye.
Bye.